They say that you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And while many NFL players have fame and fortune that insulates them from some of life's challenges, they are just as vulnerable as us common folk when it comes to this very human truth. In fact, they might even be more susceptible, considering that the windfall of money and the spotlight that accompanies their talent can, at times, bring out the worst in their kin. Over the years, we've seen quite a few players endure the trials and tribulations of crazy family members. Some that are well-intentioned, and others, unfortunately, not so much. So today, how about we take a look back and call out 10 players who have the craziest family, perhaps even a few that you haven't even heard about yet. Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa is one of the most well-liked players in the NFL. He's exceptionally humble and appears kind to everyone that he meets. But underneath the surface, he had more than his fair share of craziness with his family, particularly his father, as a result of his extremely traditional Samoan upbringing. Tua explained in a college game day segment just how strict a disciplinarian his father was when it came to both school and sports. When Tom Rinaldi followed up for clarification on what exactly he meant, the Alabama quarterback said that the belt was involved when he threw an interception or failed to get a certain grade. This one definitely comes down to a bit of cultural difference, but a large portion of America was pretty jarred about how flippantly his parents spoke about it on national television. Two things in a Tagovailoa is your faith and your discipline. It's simple, his father Gula said, laughing. He means the Bible and the belts. You gotta work, son. You gotta do better. The evaluation from dad is the most honest, his mother Diane added. The feature also shed light on how his father forced him to become a lefty despite being naturally right-handed, and Gula forcing Tua to Alabama regardless of where the young man actually playing the football on the field wanted to go. In the Tagovailoa family, Gula always had the final say. Kurt Warner. Anyone who tuned in to the 2021 biopic American Underdog has an inkling into the tight-knit relationship that longtime NFL great Kurt Warner and his wife Brenda Warner have. The two went through a ton of ups and downs together as they met while Kurt was still in college at the University of Northern Iowa, toiling away on the bench, and Brenda, who was 25 at the time, was a newly divorced single mom and trying to make a living for her family while she put herself through nursing school. And while Kurt eventually did the unthinkable and launched an NFL career, she too completed her goal of becoming a registered nurse, which is quite relevant to the anecdote we have to share about her, as her behavior at times was a bit eccentric. Back in 2002, surprisingly not long after the Rams' phase as the greatest show on turf, the franchise was starting to form a little rift with its star quarterback. A rift that came to head in December of that year when she called into a local radio show, in part to defend her husband, but also to air the dirty laundry that was piling up between the two sides. The call came in response to a suggestion that perhaps Kurt Warner had violated a trust with Martz by holding out on an injury, but Brenda was sure to set the record straight. Martz had nothing to do with it, Brenda Warner said. All week long I said, Kurt, I'm a nurse, you should go get it x-rayed. The doctors never once said that he should get an x-ray. They said, no, it's only bruised. Of course, this did not go over very well with the team, or Warner for that matter, who had absolutely no comment on the issue other than that they know how they were going to handle it. For that matter, that didn't stop Brenda from continuing to make public comments the following year, stating that the couple was essentially hoping for a trade after Warner had lost his starting job to Mark Bulger. Considering the two are still married to this day, one has to think that the dynamic kind of works between the two of them. But still, you can't deny that she's a little bit, shall we say, out there. Patrick Mahomes. While everyone knows about Patrick Mahomes' outspoken wife and his, somewhat problematic brother, the buck does not stop there when it comes to his family, as his father, former professional baseball player Patrick Mahomes Senior, has also been a lightning rod of attention, and not exactly in the best of ways. The senior didn't run into many issues during his 10-plus year pro career, but he's hit a bit of a rough patch in retirement, particularly in recent years. He made headlines in February of 2024 when he was arrested on DWI charges for the 6th time, which resulted in a guilty plea to felony DWI in August of the same year. The negative attention has also shed some light on the marital issues that he had leading up to his divorce from Randy, Mahomes' mom, back in '06. Yeah, he's not quite as loud as some of the other family members or the other entries on this list, but still, he has managed to earn a dubious shout-out nonetheless. Christian McCaffrey. There are definitely perks to growing up with a pro football player as your father, even beyond the genetic advantage. I mean, heck, Christian McCaffrey had a lot of advantages growing up. Access to the best training, nutrition, all that. And considering what an unbelievable football player that he himself has turned into, it's hard to criticize his father Ed for that. But that doesn't mean we can't call a spade and say that it was a little bit crazy just how invested he was in Christian's athletic exploits from a young age. He reportedly took him out of school on game days to get IVs, trained him not to squint because it wasted energy, and wouldn't let him wear jeans to school because they were too heavy on the legs. Alright, I kinda get the IVs thing, but come on, the latter two? Those gotta signal some sort of craziness, even if it is well-intentioned. And honestly, they make the prohibition of soda and the 7:30 bedtime look like run-of-the-mill parenting. Keep in mind, while this obviously worked out for Christian, hindsight's 2020, and there are tens of thousands of psychotic sports parents out there implementing the same stringent kind of policies for children that don't have a hope of sniffing the NFL. Michael Oher. There was a time that Michael Oher's adoptive family, the Tuohys, made famous by the critically acclaimed biopic The Blind Side, were heralded among the true saints of NFL families. Unfortunately, Oher has since made it known that the story shown on the silver screen wasn't exactly how it all went down, and that his relationship with the Tuohys was far darker than any of its viewers ever would have imagined. According to the 26-page petition filed by Oher's attorneys, the Tuohys tricked Mr. Oher into making them his conservators shortly after he turned 18. Where other parents and Michael's classmates saw Michael simply as a nice kid in need, the Tuohys saw something else. A gullible young man whose athletic talent could be exploited for their own benefit, the document alleges. Meaning that they lied to the disadvantaged young man about the nature of a conservatorship, and that while Oher initially thought he was being adopted into the family, in reality, there was no familial ties, but rather a financially exploitative arrangement. This all came to light after the commercial success of the movie, when according to the court filing, a heartbroken Oher discovered the Tuohys negotiated a contract of $225,000 in addition to 2.5% of the film's net proceeds for themselves and their biological children, while he received nothing. To make matters even worse here, the film also continually diminishes his mental capacities, which Oher famously and understandably resented. Yeah, honestly, I think it's hard to have a crazier family than that. Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's career got off to a rocky start with the New York Jets, but it wasn't just his on-field struggles making headlines. Oh no, his mom, Lisa Wilson, somehow managed to draw as much attention as her son. Lisa became a lightning rod for controversy, all thanks to her highly vocal presence on social media. Plus, there was the whole romantic entanglement he allegedly had with one of her friends, but, well, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, from day one, she fiercely defended Zach, often clashing with fans and critics who dared to question his abilities. But things really escalated when Lisa's personal posts started trending for all the wrong reasons. Whether she was making eyebrow-raising comments about politics, sharing conspiracy theories, or engaging in heated exchanges with random followers, it became clear that Zach's rookie year wasn't the only thing under a microscope. Jets fans, already frustrated with Zach's performance, didn't appreciate Lisa adding fuel to the fire. Her antics reached a point where Zach himself reportedly asked her to tone it down. She eventually announced that she'd be taking a step back from her social media. Did that last? No, of course not. Crazy never stays quiet for long. Tom Brady. Tom Brady may be the NFL's golden boy, but even he isn't immune to family drama. His father, Tom Brady Senior, has never been shy about speaking his mind, especially when it comes to Bill Belichick. For years, Brady Senior has taken shots at Belichick's coaching style and personality, painting the legendary Patriots coach as a tyrant who let his ego get in the way. In one interview, Brady Senior described Belichick as a great coach, but his interpersonal skills are horrible. And of course, he didn't stop there, claiming Belichick runs a military system, and suggested that his ego caused tension in his relationship with Tom. While Brady Senior may have been defending his son, the timing of these comments, right as Brady was leaving New England, only added fuel to the rumors of a rift between the QB and his longtime coach. The irony? Tom himself mostly stayed above the fray, often praising Belichick publicly. But if you ever wanted proof that even the GOAT's family isn't perfect, then look no further than Brady Senior, who seemingly has no filter when it comes to Bill. One has to wonder how much of a role that he played behind the scenes in sowing the seeds of dissent that ultimately resulted in Brady's surprising departure from New England at the end of his NFL career. Cam Newton. Cam Newton's incredible college career at Auburn did not come without controversy, and a lot of it stemmed from his father, Cecil Newton Jr. Cecil found himself at the center of a pay-to-play scandal that nearly derailed Cam's Heisman-winning season. The story goes that Cecil reportedly demanded $180,000 $100,000 from Mississippi State in exchange for Cam's commitment to the school. When these allegations came to light, they sent shockwaves throughout the college football world. Obviously, this would be a nothing story in today's world of NIL. So I guess credit to Cecil for being ahead of the curve? But still, he seemed like the kind of parent who never hesitated to make it about himself. And apparently, he was a bit of a helicopter parent in every sense of the expression during Newton's childhood and beyond. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers' strained relationship with his family is one of the NFL's worst kept secrets, but the juicy details never cease to amaze. According to a recent biography, Rodgers' parents, Ed and Darla Rodgers, placed the blame for their family rift squarely on one person, Aaron's then girlfriend, actress Olivia Munn. The Rodgers family reportedly had issues with Munn's lifestyle choices, particularly Darla, a devout Christian, who was horrified to learn that Munn and Aaron were having sex before marriage. While Aaron has kept most of the drama private, his family hasn't been so reserved. The feud got so bad that Aaron cut off contact with his parents for nearly a decade. Whether Munn was the real reason or just a scapegoat, one thing is for sure. Family dinners at the Rodgers household must be real awkward. You know, if they even ever happen these days. Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. is no stranger to drama, but after seeing how his dad, Odell Beckham Senior, behaved on social media, I think it's pretty clear where he got it from. His pops first really became visible during his son's rocky tenure with the Cleveland Browns. In 2021, OBJ Senior posted a now infamous video on Instagram highlighting every time Baker Mayfield failed to throw the ball to his son when he was wide open. If that wasn't petty enough, OBJ Senior doubled down in the comments, agreeing with the post that claimed Mayfield was either hating on Odell or intentionally sabotaging him. The video went viral, turning what was an already bad situation into a full-blown circus. Obviously, the situation in Cleveland was not great, but the fallout was still something to behold. The Browns ultimately had their hands forced into releasing OBJ. Considering Beckham Jr. landed in LA with the Rams, where he won a Super Bowl, you know, I guess all's well that ends well. But still, serious craziness was a brewing in the Beckham household. But hey, which NFL player's family do you think is the craziest? Were there any that really surprised you here? Who do you think we're right on? Who do you think we're wrong about? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.